Welcome to Embodiment and Resourcing. So today our theme is the felt sense. So that's a phrase that's, I think, relatively new that has to do with basically sensing, having awareness in our body and feeling whatever it is we're feeling without labels, so without the mental process. And we'll get into that a little bit more as we go into it. But interestingly, we're going to do a practice that I call notice and name. So we are going to work with the mind because this is really a holistic practice. So as usual, I invite you to join in whatever aspect of this feels right for you. So if I'm leading in something that doesn't feel right for your body or for whatever reason, take care of yourself and just don't do it or modify. So we're going to start with a check-in. So I invite you, we'll do this sitting, but we will be getting up and standing and moving in a few moments. Before our check-in, let's start with noticing how our physical body feels. And today we're going to do it just slightly different. As you notice how you feel today physically, see if there's one word or maybe just one or two words that describes that for you. So it could just be what you first notice when you tune in on that body level, or when you ask yourself, how am I today? How does my body feel? And so go ahead and we'll take some quiet time now for each of us to do this. So tuning in to the physical level first, notice what you notice, and then just give it one or two words to name it. And so this is just a brief touch in. We're going to move now to the emotional body, your sense of yourself as a feeling being. And again, bringing that quality of listening, asking yourself, how am I today on the emotional level? And again, if there's a word or two that you could say best sums it up without going into a lot of detail. So we're just looking for one or two words, and there may not be. And then bringing awareness into your mental state, into your mind, and asking, how am I today in my mental body? And if there is one or two words that sums it up for you, that would be great to note that. And then next, bringing your awareness to your whole being, is seeing if you can sense the interconnectedness of all these different parts of you. And lastly, see if there is a word or a brief phrase that would be kind of a title for how you feel right now as a whole being. And then we're going to transition now to doing a little bit of movement. And so if you feel like standing, it's possible that you can sit and modify what we're going to be doing. We'll keep it really simple. And this is just a kind of a warming up, getting the energies moving in the body. And it's very simple. This one is just to bring the arms up toward the shoulder, hands toward the shoulder, and then let them swing down and behind you a little ways. So I'm showing you from the side. And then also notice your legs, your knees, your feet. Have your knees just slightly unlocked so that there's a suppleness and a little bit of a flow from the arms down through the body down into the hips. There could even be a sense of rocking a little bit forward and back as your arms swing. Take a few deep breaths. You can go faster or slower than me. Just notice what feels good for your body. It's a nice time to scan your body as you get that movement going. Notice if there are any particular areas of the body that are a little bit more tight. Maybe invite those areas to soften just a little bit. Letting that rocking movement that the arms are creating kind of move through the whole body. I can feel it up into my neck and my shoulders, down through my tummy. Then I feel like my hips and my legs are fairly stable, but they're kind of rocking back and forth as well. Sort of almost like a counterbalance to the arm movement. You notice sometimes it feels good to get even more vigorous, like even lifting the heels up a little bit as you swing the arms up. Other times it just feels like it's enough just to get the arms swinging closer to the body. Now letting that slow down, come to a moment of stillness. Notice how your body feels now. And then gently opening your eyes. So for the next part, I invite you to come back to a seated position for the next section called Notice and Name. I'm just going to say a few words first. So a lot of us live a lot of our life in our head, in our mind. And most of our modern culture that kind of requires that. So it's not just an individual thing. It's like all of our systems, our institutions, the way that modern people live is very much in the cognitive side of our brain, predominantly. And so what I have noticed as I've worked with clients is that when we want to put more of our attention and our awareness in our bodies and feel what's happening on a physical level, on the level of sensation, on an emotional level, that often is difficult for people because we're just not used to it. And so the term felt sense is a term about describing what does it feel like? What is the felt sense in the body? And then the reason we started with naming things is because that is a familiar place for so many people to be in the mind. So let's bridge from the mind into the body. And we'll do it in a couple of steps. So first, sitting here with your eyes open, invite you to look around the room in your space and just let your eyes land on an object. See it, name it, and name what it is, the noun. So I'm going to do that out loud, and I'm seeing a calendar on my wall. So calendar. And just look at the calendar or the item that you look at and let go of the word, the name for it, and really look at it. Now let's move the eyes and scan and find another object in your room. And when you decide on something, sort of land there with your eyes and name it. Post. And we'll do that another time or two. So again, scanning the room till you find just any object, pause, look at it, name it. cup. And then let go of the word and really look at that cup with your eyes. So we're using the sense of sight, to have a more direct experience. So let's do this a couple more times. This time, when you land on an object, instead of naming it with a noun, like what it is, notice something about it, a descriptive thing. So it might be the color or the shape, something like that. And then just say the thing that you're noticing. So I'm seeing something and I'm just going to name the color, white. And then when you feel ready, move and look at something else. And again, this time noticing a descriptive thing about the object and name that. Sphere. Let's do one more of those. Fuzzy. Now let's move on to the next part. We're going to close eyes, bring your attention into the body. We're going to do the same thing. Let your awareness scan inside the body and let your attention land on a part of the body and then just name it. After you name it, see if you can let go of the word and really feel into that part of the body. And I'll do this out loud to kind of give a pace to it. Kneecap. Moving on to another area, part of the body. Sit bones. Let's do one more. Ear. Now continuing with awareness in the body, let's do the same thing scanning. When you land on a part of the body, choose a descriptive word, like what does it feel like? What do you sense about it? Just a few words. One is fine, several words. Okay, so here I'm going. Tangly. Hard pressure. Furrowed. Let's do one more. Tingly. And then gently opening your eyes. So we're going to close the practice there, but we're going to take a few moments of silence and stillness, letting our awareness now just rest and relax, noticing the space within you and around you, letting go of any doing, and instead just listening, watching, just being present. And then when you feel ready, you can gently open your eyes. And we'll end there for today. Thank you for doing this practice with me.